let's work on this review, which will review all of the targets from 4.1A through 4.8A, with the exception of simplifying fractions. So basically, this first part of the chapter. All right, finding the factors. Well, finding the factors is finding what all of the numbers are that fit evenly into another number. So you can always start off by putting the two numbers down. 1 and 32 both go into 32. 2 goes into 32 because it's an even number. And if you take 32 and divide it by 2, you'll find out it goes in there 16 times. All right, let's see. 3 doesn't go into 32 because 3 times 10 is 30. So 3 times, it won't fit into 32 evenly. Let's see. 4 will go in there. 4 times 8 is 32. 5 won't go into 32 because it ends in a 2, not a 0 or a 5. 6 won't go in there because 6 goes into 30. 7 won't go in there. 7 goes into 28. And then we're back to 8. So we're all done with all the factors for that. 48. Once again, 1 and 48 both go in. It's an even number, so 2 goes in there 24 times. If you're not sure how to find how many times 2 goes in there, you just put it in the calculator, 48 divided by 2, and it will tell you 24. All right, 3 goes into 48. One of the quick little tricks you can figure out if 3 goes in is you can add these two numbers up. 4 plus 8 equals 12. If 3 goes into 12, then 3 goes into 48. So if you did 48 divided by 3, you find out it goes in there 16 times. 4 goes in there. 4 times 10 is 40. 4 times 11 is 44. 4 times 12 is 48. 5 doesn't go in there. Again, it doesn't end in a 5 or 0. 6 goes in there 8 times. And 7 doesn't go in there because 7 goes into 49. So you've got all your factors there. All right, 80. 1 and 80 goes in there. 2 times 40 is 80. Let's see, 3 doesn't go into 80 because 8 plus 0 is 8, and 3 doesn't go into 8. 4 goes in there 20 times. 5, it ends in a 0, so 5 is going to go in there. So if you did 80 divided by 5, you find out it goes in there 16 times. 7 goes into 77, so it won't go into 80 evenly. 8 goes in there 10 times, and 9 won't go in there because 9 goes into 81, and then we're back to 10. All right, 81 goes in there 1 and 81. 2 won't go in because it's odd. 3 will go in there. 8 plus 1 is 9, so 3 will go in there. If you did 81 divided by 3 on the calculator, it'll tell you it goes in there 27 times. 4 won't go in because it's an odd number. 5 won't go in because it's not ending in a 0 or 5. 6 won't go in because it's an even number. 7 times 10 is 70. 7 times 11 is 77, so 7 won't go in. 8 won't go in because 8 goes into 80. 9 goes in there 9 times. And then once you get to a number that repeats itself, like 9 and 9, that's one of those things that tells you that you are done. Okay, 60. There's quite a few factors here. 1 and 60. 2 goes in there because it's an even number, goes in there 30 times. 3 goes in there 20 times. Notice how the numbers keep getting closer together. 4 goes in there 15 times. 5 goes in there 12 times. 6 goes in there 10 times. 7 goes into 56, so 7 won't go into 60. 8 goes into 64, so it won't go into 60. 9 goes into 63, so that won't go into 60. And 36. 1 and 36. 2 goes in there 18 times. 3 goes in there 12 times. 4 goes in 9 times. 5 won't go in because it ends in 6. 6 actually goes in 6 times, and then we repeat it. Okay, let's do the prime factorization section. Let's square it up. So prime factorization with exponents is breaking that down. You can pick any two figures. I like picking the two numbers that are closest together when you think about the factors of 42. Factors of 42 are 1 and 42, 2 and 21, 3 and 14, 6 and 7. So the closer, here, slide that over so you can see. The closer these factors are to one another, like 6 and 7, I think the easier the prime factorization is. So here's 42, I'll start with 6 times 7. Well, 6 is not prime, but I can break that down into 2 times 3, and 7 is prime. So 2 times 3 times 7. That is the prime factorization. There's no exponents to give. All those numbers are prime. I'm going to do it the other way and show you what I mean. Just hypothetically say you did 2 and 42. That's what most kids, 2 and 21. That's what most kids would do. 2 times 21, then you got to go 2 times 3 times 7. I think it's just a little bit easier. You get down to the same answer. I think it's a little bit easier. In this case, it worked out to be the same number of steps, but usually it works out to be more steps. So, as a rule of thumb, try to choose the two factors closest together. 6 times 4 I know equal 24, so I can break this down. This would be 2 times 3. And 4 can break down into 2 times 2. So when we look at that, we've got 1, 2, 3, 2. So it's 2 to the third times 3. I think it's really important to know that 2 to the third is 8. That's just one of those important things to know. So you can see that this would be 8 times 3. 72, again, I'm going to pick ones that are close. 9 times 8. This would be 3 times 3. This would be 4 times 2. I still got one number that's not prime here, so this is a prime. 3 is a prime. I can break this down into 2 times 2, and then I've still got this 2. The rest of the 2 to the third was 8. How 8 broke down eventually into those 3 2's. So let me gather that up. I have got, for that one, I'll put it up here, I've got 2 to the third times 3 to the second. And guess what? 2 to the third is 8, 3 to the second is 9. We're right back to that same problem. Alright, 60. Most kids will do 10 times 6, so that's what I'll do. We'll break this down into 5 times 2. We'll break this guy down into 2 times 3. You can see we've got 2 2's here, so this would be 2 squared times 3 times 5. Let's see if we know what 2 squared is. Well, 2 squared would be 4 times 3 would be 12, and 12 times 5 is 60. You can see I'm checking my answers too. 62, this is going to be a weird one. All I can think of that goes in there is 31, so I'll go 2 times 31, and then I'm just going to stop and think about it. Is 31 a prime number? If it is, I'm done. Think about the factor tree for 31. 1 and 31. 2 doesn't go in because it's odd. 3 won't go in because 3 goes into 30. 4 won't go into it because this is an odd number. 4 only goes into even numbers. 5 won't go into it. 6 won't go into it because it goes into 30. 7 goes into 28, so it won't go in there. 8 won't go in there. 8 goes into 32. 9 won't go in there. 9 goes into 27, not 31. 10 won't go in there because 10 goes into 30. 11, and you go on and on and on. Actually, you can go up just to 15. 11 won't go in there because 11 goes into 33. 12 won't go in there because 12 goes into 36. 13 won't go in there because 13 goes into 26. 14 won't go in there because it goes into 28. 15 won't go in there because it goes into 30. And 16 won't go in there because it goes into 32. Once you get over halfway, you can stop looking. This is a prime number, 31, and that is in, we can't write it in exponential form. That is the answer right there. 2 to the 31st. Kind of like this one right up here. These two both didn't have any exponents in their answers. 40. I'll do 8 times 5 here. And 8 can be broken down into 2 times 4 times 5. And then I can break 4 down into 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. So when I gather up the exponents, put my answer up here, that would be 2 to the third times 5. 120, getting big here. Let's go with what most kids would do. Most kids would do 10 times 12, so that's about 10 times 12. This would be 2 times 5, and this would be times 3 times 4. This one I can still break down into 2 times 2, so this is 2 times 5 times 3 times 2 times 2. So here's my 10, and here's 3 times 2, which is 6 times 3. There's my 12 there. So if I count them up, I got 3 2's, so that's 2 to the third, times, I've got 1 3, that would be 8 times 3, which is 24, times 5. There's your factorization. Alright, 144. I think I'm going to have to move that dude over. And I'm going to start with 12 times 12. Again, you can start with anything, you're going to get the same answer. But the closer those numbers are to one another, the easier it will be for you. So this would be 3 times 4 times 3 times 4. Write that both 12s down. And the 3's are prime. And the 4's I can both break down into 2 times 2. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 4's. Sorry. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 2 goes in there to the power of 4, and this would be 3 times 3, which is 9, so that would be 3 squared. So when we think about that, if, let me just go up here a little bit. I'm kind of checking my work as I go here, just to show you my answer there, 2 to the 4th times 3 squared. If 2 to the 3rd equals 8, then 2 to the 4th is going to be 8 times 2, so that's 16. And 3 squared equals 9. So you can just check that quick on your calculator, and I will too, to show you. You can just take and pop that in. 16 times 9, and there's your 144. So you know that you've got the correct answer there. Alright, find the GCF. Well, the greatest shall be the least. That's what I always say. So if this is greatest, then I'm going to use the smallest number. What I'm going to do is I'm going to factor it. And so I've already got 36 factored up there, but I'll just do it over here on the side. So here's 36. Factors of 36, 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9, and I'm going to squeeze my 6 and my 6 in. I put a box around those, and then I just simply put a little arrow here. I'm simply starting to ask from the bottom up. We're looking for the greatest number. So this is the greatest possible. Does 56 go into 50? Does 36 go into 54? This kids get confused by this, so let me just show you what you do on the calculator. Sorry, facial recognition doesn't like it when I'm sitting in the dark. Free. Okay, so on this one here, I am going to take and do 36. And let's see if 36 goes into 54 equally. So you take the bigger number, 54, you divide it by 36. Does it fit in there? No, 1.5. That can't be it. So then I'm going to take 54 and divide it by 8. Oops. Take 54 and divide it by the next number, which is 18, divided by 18. And that does go in there evenly. So here's my GCF, is 18. And you simply do that for all of these numbers here. So I take the smallest number, the greatest shall be the least. Because honestly, if this is the smallest number, the largest factor of 26 is the smallest number that could go into all of these, right? I mean, some of the factors of 51 are too big to be common to 26. So let me just do 26 real quick. 26 is a very simple one to factor. It's 1 and 26. 2 goes in there 13 times. And those are the only two factors. So here are my factors right here. So now I've got to try these. Let's try. Start off and put 26 in. So I got to get my calculator so you can see it, and I can still have room to write. So I'm going to take and see if 26 goes into 39 even. 39 divided by 26 equals 1.5. No. So it can't be 26. So let's try 13. So 39 divided by 13 equals 3. So it works for that. It's got to make sure it works for 51. So 39 divided by 13 equals 51 divided by 13 equals, nope, it didn't work for that one, so it can't be 13. Well, 2 is not going to go into 39 or 51. The greatest common factor then is 1. Kind of a trick question, but what can you say? Once in a while, the old guy comes up with something kind of fun. All right, so 42, let's do that one. So just put 42 here. Make a quick factor tree. 1 and 42. 2 goes in there 21 times. 3 goes in there 14, and 6 and 7. So here are all my factors. So I got a funny looking box to make sure I leave room for another question. So let's just see, is 42 going to go into 56? Can I take it? Is it going to go in there evenly? No, it's going to fit in there. But I'm not going to get 2 of them in there. It's too big. So let's try 21. Sorry, this facial recognition is killing me when I wear a mask. Okay, so 49 divided by 21. 49 divided by 21. No, can't be 42, can't be 21. Let's try 14. Well, is 14 going to go into an odd number? No, it can't. 14 only goes into numbers that are even. So check 7. Is 7 going to 49? Yes. Is 7 going to 56? Yes. Here's your GCF. All right, I'm going to do these other ones a little more quickly. We'll do 27. So here's 27. Here's my factor tree. 1, 27, 3, and 9. So you get all my factors. And then, does 27 go into 72? No. 27 goes into 81, but not 72. Does 9 go into 72? Yes. There's your GCF. 120 and 144. I'm going to move this guy here. You know what? I'm just going to, so you can see better, I will just use a sticky note. We'll factor 120. 120 is the smallest number, so let's put in a factor. There's quite a few factors. 1 and 120. 2 goes in there 60 times. 3 will go in there 40 times. 4 will go in there 30 times. 5 goes in there. 5 goes in there 24 times. 6 goes in there 20 times. 7 won't go. 8 goes in there 15 times. 9 won't go. 10 goes in there 12 times. And 11 won't go. So here are my possible factors. So which of these is the greatest that also goes into 144? So, you think 120 will go into 144 evenly? No. 60? No. 144 divided by 40? No, it's not going to be an even answer. It'll be a decimal. 30 won't go in. 24 now things are starting to get interesting. This 24 could be it. So 144 divided by 24 equals, bam, there's your answer of 6 right there. So 6, so 24 goes in there. This is the largest. That is the greatest common factor. All right, one more. Put that up here. And we've got 52, 44, and 60. So I'll just do 44. That's the smallest. I know some teachers will have you do them all, but I'm like, make a factor trees take some time. So why not just do one? And ask some questions. 2 goes in there 22 times. 3 doesn't go in there. 4 goes in there 11 times. 5 doesn't go. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back to 11. Here are my possible common factors. Okay, well, 44, there's no way that's going to go into 52 even. 22 isn't going to go into 60 even. It'll go into 66, so it can't be that. 11? 11 goes into 66, it goes into 55, but it doesn't go into those numbers. 4. 4, now that's interesting. That might work. So, get the old calculator out here, and let's just try it. 52 divided by 4 equals 13, okay, and 60 divided by 4 equals 15. So yes, 4 is my GCF. Okay, finally, LCM section. This is a tough section. Least common multiple, the least shall be the greatest. So I take the greatest number, which is 13, and I just do some skip counting. 13, 26, 39, 52, and 65, and then I just start checking. Does 7 go into 13? No. 26? No. 39? No. 52 divided by 7? It's 7 point something. 65 divided by 7? It's 9 point something. So I got to keep going and just keep adding 13 on here. Well, 13 plus 65, if I would add 13, that would be 78. 78 plus 13 would be 91. And then you can check. Is 13 going to 78? Check it on your calculator. No. Is 13 going to 91? I believe we've got a hit there, folks. Let's just try that again. And let's clear that out. 91 divided by 13. Yes, I did that right, so I'll just make sure. 91 divided by 7. There we go. It goes in there 13 times. So, there's my least common multiple. Let's try an easier one. 6, 8, 9. What's the biggest? 9. The greatest shall be the least for this one. So, 9, 18, 27, 36, 45. I usually do about 4 or 5 multiples, and then just start checking. Well, will 8 go into, well, 8's not going to go into any of the numbers that are odd. So 8 won't go in here, 8 won't go in here, 8 won't go in here. 8 doesn't go into 18, 8 doesn't go into 36. It just tells me I need to keep going. So after 45, I've got 54, and then I've got 63, and then I've got 72, and then I've got 81, and then it goes to 90. Okay, so we check again. It's 8 going to 54. No, it goes into 56. So it can't be this number. And the odd numbers I'm just skipping because it doesn't even matter because 8's never going to go to an odd number, neither is 6. Is 8 going to 72? Well, 8 times 9 is 72, so it works with 8. How about 6? And if you're not sure, you can check it with the calculator, but 6 times 12 is 72. So my least common multiple, if you line those all up, would be 72. Okay, this one here, we've got 30, 20, and 40. So you start with the biggest number because it's least common multiple. You start with the opposite, so 40, 80, 120, 160, and 200. And if you don't know how to do those, you can just skip count on your calculator. 40 plus 40 plus 40 plus 40 plus 40. All right, does 20 fit into 40? Yes, it does. Does 30 fit in there even? No, it doesn't. Does 20 fit into 80? Yes, it does. Does 30 fit in there even? No. Does 20 fit into 120? Yes. Does 30 go in there? Yes. There's my least common multiple, would be 120. Oh, right here, let's do 10 and 12. 12. 24, 36, 48, and 60. Now we know that multiples of 10 have to end in a 0, right? So I can just start crossing off until I get to one with a 0. There's my least common multiple. 13, 4, and 2. Well, so put that with 13. It's the biggest of 13. I've already got my multiples up top here. See them? So I'll just recopy them. 13, 26, 52, 65, 78. And let's just try a couple. Well, 4 going to 13. Well, 4 is not going to go into anything that's odd. 4 doesn't go into 26. Does 4 go into 52? Well, we can check it. So, my calculator clear. So 52 divided by 4 equals 13. It does. 52 goes in there, and of course 2 does as well, because it's an even number. Alright, last problem. Choose the largest number, 18. So let's just skip count 18, 36, 54, 72, 90. The first 5 multiples. Alright, 12 is only going to go into even numbers. So all of these are even. 9 could go into even or odd. So I'm better with 9, so let's start with 9. So is 9 going to 18? Yes. Does 12 fit in there? No. 9 going to 36? Yes. Does 12 fit in 36? Yes. There's my least common multiple right there. Let's visualize this. Here are my multiples of 36. Here are my multiples of 9, 9, 27, 9, 18, 27, 36. Multiples of 12, 12, 24, 36. You can see that's the smallest number that all 3 land on. Thanks for listening.